For this assignment, I'm going to talk about the number talk process within the special education setting. And then I'm going to present a math question for a hypothetical number talk session that would be for students with disabilities. So, number talks for students with disabilities can be very beneficial. So, as an intervention, the number talks can help students with disabilities focusing on reasoning and strategies instead of just memorizing steps and rules for how to complete math computations. Um, the number talks can also be useful to teachers as an assessment tool that can show um, maybe where a specific deficit is for a student. One example would be that you could understand um, whether a concept is being understood or not while a student is trying to verbalize the strategy they chose at the end of your number talk. And then that would give the teacher an idea whether more intervention is needed. So that second point um, is that the number talks for students with disabilities should be implemented with flexibility. Otherwise, they're pretty similar to the number talk process for the gen ed setting. But when you're doing a number talk in the special education setting, flexibility is needed. Students might require manipulatives or pen and paper or maybe even teacher support to help those students have success with the activity. And just like I mentioned before, that third point, number talks in the setting can be really valuable to a SPED teacher who is maybe tracking an IEP goal, like with data and observing for goal achievement. And it can maybe help that teacher adjust interventions for a particular student. So the question I chose is, which is greater, 34 or two tens and 13 ones? And I chose this because I have a few students in mind that I work with regularly that struggle with the regrouping concept. And so I actually am going to try this number talk with them as soon as we get back from our snow days to help determine if place value is possibly an issue for them. So, one way I would adjust this is I would set a timer for 1 to 2 minutes. Um, and if the students that I'm working with appear that they are not working or they're confused or they're avoiding the activity, I might then offer some manipulatives. So I would give them the opportunity to choose a whiteboard with dry erase markers, maybe some base 10 blocks, and a number line. So during this time, I think I would also just be observing for a productive struggle versus like a true upset, um, I have no clue what to do struggle. And then showing that flexibility by offering more support if it looks like it's needed. So after I've gotten a thumbs up or we feel like we've gone as far as we can, um, I would then offer um, a chance for students to show what strategies they used. This slide I actually would show after we've discussed strategies because I would want to see what they came up with first. So here, I would like to see the place value strategy discussed. I would like to see maybe the base 10 block strategy discussed and um, maybe even the number line. Not so much worried about seeing the number line, but just offering this as an option to show greater than, less than. Um, but what I would do actually in this setting is not show this slide until we have done all of our discussing. And then I would maybe take some time to explicitly show these methods if um, I want to offer feedback or if there were any misconceptions or any reasoning that wasn't quite making sense during that discussion time. So I think that I would also be paying attention for students who, and I'm thinking of specific students that I know that do not necessarily have the expressive vocabulary to describe their own strategies. So maybe giving them those tools, like talking about place value and regrouping and talking about things being greater and lesser than. And then also, these visual representations of the strategies might make those concepts make a little more sense. All right. And then to conclude the number talk, I would just simply display the answer and then we'd move on with the rest of our class.